The father of a man who died in hospital 11 days after being assaulted by two men near his home said he and his wife are haunted by the image of their 29-year-old son lying lifeless and bleeding on the street, surrounded by people trying to save his life. Pat O'Neill was addressing the sentencing hearing today for 20-year-old Jordan Deasy and 21-year-old Ricardo Hoey, who were both found guilty of the manslaughter of their son Matt in Carrigaline on December 28, 2022.
A heartbroken Pat and Eileen O'Neill as they left the Central Criminal Court in Cork today, having spoken about the impact on them of the loss of their only child. Last month, after a 14-day trial, 20-year-old Jordan Deasy of Ravensdale Herons Cove in Carrigaline and 21-year-old Ricardo Hoey of Ardcarrig, also in Carrigaline, were both found not guilty of the murder of 29-year-old Matt O'Neill, but guilty of his manslaughter. The trial was told that an altercation had broken out when an intoxicated Matt O'Neill, on his way home with a bottle of wine, wouldn't move out of the way of their car after they had shouted at him. They assaulted him on the ground and took off after being confronted by a neighbour. Matt O'Neill died 11 days later in hospital. His father described his son as a kind and gentle soul, a gifted swimmer who'd been involved in a sea rescue at 13 in Kerry, and even now had gone on to save 3 more lives with the donation of his organs. Mr O'Neill said they'll never forget the image of their son, lifeless and bleeding on the street, surrounded by people trying to save his life. He said that when his son's life support was turned off, it was 29 minutes before he passed. A minute for every year of his life, he said. We held his hand. It was 29 minutes of heartbreaking sadness that no parent should ever have to experience. Mr O'Neill said their son had difficulties in recent years, but where there is life, there's hope. But that hope and any chance for his future had been taken from them by a mindless, senseless, cowardly act with no respect for life. Sentencing in the case was adjourned until July 31st, next by Ms Justice Siobhan Langford. Jenny O'Sullivan, RTE News, the Central Criminal Court, Cork.